like building them up from every part, you know what I mean? Like if it was a full size one. And using Blender and GIMP and I think called Inkspace. So they use Inkspace for doing the rivets and stuff because it's like a vector program, and then convert it to bitmaps to go into the liveries.
Well, if somebody's got a passion for doing 3D aircraft models, I got a job for him.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, because but there's all sorts of useful things. There's some websites where there's all the plans for different aircraft. There's thousands of them. But he's wrote books on it, how to do it, you know, how to sort of start off, but mainly using Blender as the building tool.
I'm stupid. I can't make Blender do jack.
Then somebody else has invented like a flight simulator to sort of demonstrate these virtual models. I was just thinking, why, if they're free, you know, if you want to make them into real flying operator, give them to us, and we'll, you know, be able to use them maybe.
Ozzy found the door.
The funny one.
Funny one?
Creep in and creep out. A creepy door.
You know how much time I spent on the ladder on that stupid thing? Too much time.
The mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, just reading the book on mosquito, but the book's more about various things going on in Denmark, because one of their famous raids is a squadron what does daylight low-level attacks on Gestapo buildings, and I think the book's mainly about what was going on in Denmark and you know, flying. So they're flying across the North Sea at 25 feet all the way to Denmark, and only pulling up when they have to, ready to drop the bombs.
Oh my. Adventure. Or death.
Yeah, well, it's you know, I mean, it makes you think, doesn't it, flying at 25 feet across the sea. One mistake and you're swimming.
Yeah, no time to make, no time for correction.
And they're also having to fly in really bad weather. Which runway are we setting off from?
1-6, sir.
Right, I'll come and join you.
Aussie looks nice over MP.
It's a huge machine just for two guys in it.
Two
Oh,
guys.
it carried the same bomb load as the B-17.
A lot faster too.
And made of wood.
Yeah. I've watched some videos or some movies of the mosquitoes attacking like ships with all those guns concentrated in the nose and cannon and stuff. It's like, oh my god. It's like, how would it, even some of these ships are huge, but god, they're just being beat to death by these mosquitoes with all that firepower. Oh my God. Do not want to be on the receiving end of that. Coming over here, Ollie, you're just going to go from there.
I'm having trouble. My keyboard doesn't seem to want to play. I've just tried a second one and that ain't working. What the hell's going on? Can't get the brakes off.
If you can't find Shift B, you're going to be in trouble.
The keyboard is actually working. It's not changing anything in flight here.
Oops.
I decided to start playing ball now.
Stupid machines. All right, who's not ready for a brief? Weather is core high pressure. Time is noon. Initially, we will hold runway vector, not for too long. Target altitude is 5,000 feet. We're going to climb at 900 feet per minute. But we won't go too far on runway vector here. Try to form up, try to keep me in sight. I'll pop smoke. Got new smoke. If you got the new FW, got like a Krypton green smoke. I'm hoping it's easier to spot. Anyway, we will turn, not spend a whole lot of time before we turn and head forward our first destination, which is actually a fix, NOKOX, November Oscar, Kilo Oscar X-ray. We won't actually fly to that waypoint. Once we get out there a ways, we're going to use it as a jumping off point to head for our first real waypoint, which is FARS, Foxtrot Alpha Romeo Sierra. There's a nice significant terrain when we make our turn, so
Pictures on the wall keep reminding me that I just lost a friend. It's made it hard to say goodbye because I thought that we were meant. It's only now that I realize that
Oh yeah, target speed's going to be 265 knots, but we're running late, so I might kick that up a little bit later.
Mosquito will make it.
Oh, easily. Every aircraft in this thing can make it. I know.
Mosquito is a bit slow in the beginning, in acceleration in the beginning. At the end, Mosquito is
You know, and I spent a lot of time watching movies of takeoff runs in the Mozzie and tried to get, it's almost identical to all the movies that I saw. So I thought it was a little slow too, but it's the way it is. One of the Hurricanes is probably going to need to change liveries there, otherwise we can't tell you guys apart. Of course, nobody's on comms. Okay, watch me for the roll, kids.
User joined your channel.
User.
Yes, that green smoke is very effective. What you'll have to work on, Voodoo, is making it so when you fly through it, it leaves the dye on the windscreen.
green Sahara dust.
Turning left, GPS FMS 92 degrees, climbing at 900 feet per minute. Again, we're looking for 265 knots.
Definitely something going wrong with flight gear. It's the keyboard's working in a text editor, but the commands are not getting through to the program.
That sucks. Isn't somewhere in your F10 menus, is it turned off? Like in your keyboard settings?
No, I just think it's just intermittent. It's like pressing F11 for the autopilot. You press a key and nothing happens, and then suddenly it does happen.
Yep, I'm okay, Flash. Well, they're going to do more tests this week and find out. My pancreas has gone cracker dog, so we'll find out if it's something serious or if I just had a bout. But I'm feeling a lot better and eating and stuff, but I was deathly sick there last week.
What you need is a young nurse to look after you.
No. Cruise altitude, initial cruise altitude is 5,000 feet. I have attained that. Local at 5,265 knots. DPS FMS 92 degrees. Come on, you guys, catch you up.
Still slowly gaining speed.
Have you shut all the doors, Ozzy?
Yes, indeed. And the flaps and the gear. And no one's putting his hand out of the window. .310 knots, I'll get you.
Let's see ya. Actually, I have you as being ahead of me now, but maybe that's Ollie.
Yeah, I used a bit of acceleration, then I couldn't turn the damn thing off.
And there's our wall of mountains, boys. A nice video of eagle flying through the green stream. Generally flying like a crazy ass. I love it. That's why we do Warbird nights.
Yeah, on that website he has the first model he made is it's a Curtis, not the P40 but a Curtis, one of the Curtis models, and I think that's a free 3D model for downloading. But there's some, he's done the books how to do it all. Is you can download them as PDFs and stuff.
God, I'd love to learn to 3D model. I'd love to stop having to try to find 3D models and do it like Eagle does, build them from scratch, baby.
Yeah, well, on his website, he's done every rib, you know what I mean, then put the skins on top.
Yeah, that's nuts. If you can't see it, why are we going to model it?
Is 5k enough to get over these hills?
Nope. We're going to start a 900 foot per minute climb now to 14,005. By Mark, stand by. Mark, holding GPS FMS Run 35er, climbing at 900 feet per minute to 14,005.
Yeah, there's something definitely going on with this flight gear tonight because it keeps flickering every 30 seconds or so.
So what you need is another problem.
Well, it's never done that before.
How's everybody's frame rates? Mine are outstanding.
So are mine. Not much OSM stuff around.
Jeez, getting big lags. Jeez. Never mind.
Oh, why is that?
I don't know, everything just locked up. Okay, watch me for the turn, right turn, GPS 143, my mark. Except everybody went zipping past me because of the big lag. Stand by. Watching me right turn, GPS FMS 145. My mark, stand by. Mark, turning right, GPS FMS 145 degrees. Still continued 900 foot from there. Climbed to 14,005. Woohoo!
Weird thing is, these hills don't look too bad, do they, for detail? But the flat ground looks a bit plain.
I've noticed that flying through this, some of it looks outstanding and some of it's kind of like, meh. It's all good, just some of it's better.
Yeah, just the tiles were like half the size of normal ones. But I don't get any choice in that. You just get whatever
exactly.
the program collects.
I'm always grateful for what you do, man. It's good stuff. No critique. Just, it's outstanding. I'm noticing right now, if I'm looking behind me, I have low detail. But if I look in front of me, it's really brilliant. Climbing through 9,000 feet on my way to 14,005. GPS FMS 146 now.
I get lost within the sound. Keep you dancing round and round. I can be the dance machine. Don't you say it's capuchin. Step to this and take my hand. Catch my eye to understand. See me walking in the sun. It has not yet begun.
Oops, must have lost Eagle somewhere.
When it's getting dark outside.
Wow, that's some quite spectacular looking grounds stuff.
Working hard to get ahead.
Yeah, some turquoise little lakes.
Forget.
Yeah, looks nice.
See me drink colored light. Floating through the foggy white. I'm alone at the track. That's no time for turning back. I am the beat conductor. Skipping every structure. I am the beat conductor. Skipping every structure. I am the beat conductor. Splitting every structure.
Have a nice evening, Ori.
Scenery here is worth it. I was concerned. I was like, we've never flown South Africa. Technically, there should be some good-looking stuff. So when I started scouting it, I went like, well, we'll see what it looks like on orthos because it's got the topography and stuff. Wow, I'm happy. It was well worth the trip, kids.
Yeah, I was saying that the mountains look quite good. This flashing screen's doing my head in.
Uh-oh.
To do a rebuild at break time. Do you get faulty towers in America?
I've seen it at one time, but it's been years. We used to get all this stuff from the BBC, but I haven't seen it recently.
It just reminds me of Stuart.
Oh, what? Mr.
You know,
Faulty?
the wrong person in the wrong job, you know, in customer relations.
Mr. Faulty reminds you of Stuart?
Yeah, you know, when he's having to deal with irate customers.
VHS, what's that? Sounds like, is that like tape stuff?
Tape stuff.
Oh, old people, I'm always amused.
Still have my old audio cassettes.
Good for you.
What's the target altitude? 1450 or 1650?
1450, I may have exceeded it.
Yeah, you just gone a bit higher than me.
Sorry. I've been trying to shoot video behind me. And target altitude's 14,500, 265 knots, GPS FMS 146.
Well, it's a big problem, isn't it? The longevity of media systems. There was a documentary about Sellafield, which is in UK, is like the birthplace of UK nuclear power, and all the waste is there. And all the records are on paper now because that's the only thing they think's going to last. The length of time the nuclear waste will be around before it's safe.
Amazing. Yeah, I remember having been into technology, electronics technology my entire career. You know, I've seen us go from, I started fixing televisions in the late 1970s when we were still primarily using valves, vacuum tubes. Progressed all the way through the transistors and large integrated circuits and modular stuff and surface mount devices, and then like it's not a matter of a decade, it's a matter of minutes before this stuff just changes.
Maybe the most efficient way to do is to carve it into rocks for hundreds of thousands of years.
Ooh.
Well, this nuclear waste is in big concrete blocks, and it's going to have to sit there for thousands of years before it cools down and safe. But the problem is in the 50s they were in such a rush to make nuclear bombs. They cut a lot of corners, and a lot of the waste were just put in like swimming pools to keep it cool. But these swimming pools are from the 50s, and they're leaking into the sea and fall into bits, and they're full of stuff they don't know what the hell is in there. They've got about a 200-year project to itemize it all and make it safer.
Yeah, that Krypton green shows up really nice.
Yeah.
Watch the turn. Sorry about missing that. I was busy shooting video and screwing around. New GPS FMS heading. Well maintained 14,005. New GPS FMS 116. Again, 265 knots. You guys followed that pretty well for not announcing it. I was like, how come everybody's turning? Whoa, shit. Because you are, dude. Oh, yeah.
We
That's
do
big.
see the green smoke trace.
Say again?
We do see the green smoke trace.
That's cool. If you guys are caught up, I can turn it off, but... looking behind me looks fabulous. Ugh. Feel like a bug through your windscreen there, brother.
No speed brakes on board.
Yeah, the only thing you can do with that, Ems, is hit a click of flaps and hope for the best.
Not with 300 knots.
Yeah, Mozzie wants to go. Show off. That's another requirement on Warbird flight nights is when we hit our last airport, you're gonna have to do a trick. The tower view is pretty cool. First actual waypoint definition, or second one actually. Foxtrot Alpha Sierra X-ray. "58 seconds. Watch me for the turn. It'll be left."
Wouldn't it be cute? We will be the perfect match. Oh boy, it's a soggy style. Do you want me to say it again?
There it is. New GPS FMS is 69 degrees, maintained 14,005. 265 knots indicated. Please, thank you.
My knees start shaking and my heart goes boom. Never felt this before. I'm playing it cool, but deep inside I want more. There is something in your eyes that makes me write those stupid lines. It might sound cheesy, but I think you're the one. If you were my boyfriend and I was your girl, wouldn't it be the cutest thing in the world? If you were my boyfriend and I was your girl, wouldn't it be the cutest thing in the world? Nothing's ever felt so real. I have to tell you how I feel when you are close to me. My heart seems to drown.
You ain't hard to spot, Ollie, in that red B-38. Boy, that's hard to miss.
Yeah, well, last week Stuart tried to lead the flight, then his system fell to bits, and then he had to give up. So I tried to do it. That's why I changed it to red, because we tried to fly this route last week, but I was guessing at the heights.
You guessed quite well. Didn't crash into anything.
Well, we got round, didn't we?
That's all that matters. No, actually, all that matters is we have fun. Anything else, I don't give a rat's butt about. Hello?
Ollie, I looked at the pennines we talked about. Must be a quite nice region for trekking and so on.
Yeah, there's a walk called the Pennine Way, what takes about 2 or 3 weeks to do, but it's pretty miserable because it's boggy and stuff. But that's what generates the wave when there's a westerly wind. It just is, they're not big mountains, they're not proper mountains like you get in your country, but they're just hills, but they're enough to create mountain wave.
And apparently they are not so rare, are they?
Sorry, say that again?
The waves are not very rare. Hear them time and time again.
Yeah, well, the prevailing wind is westerlies from the Atlantic, and it also needs to be, as well as the wind and the wind speed, it's got to be the right, you know, like high pressure, low pressure, whatever, to make it work. Wave flying is like it, when you get into the lift part, it's the smoothest lift you've ever been in, and it's very steady and you're just going up, and you're normally above the clouds. But then when you have to go between the pit, it's like a sinusoidal wave. So you got the high bits, but when you have to jump across to the next bar, you got to fly through some very vicious down in between, and you lose a lot of height. And it's a bit frightening when you do it, because you think, oh shit, what happens if I can't find the next bar? But all the clouds line up in a big long straight, you know, so you can see where you're going for.
I hope for the next lift.
Yeah, well, that's why you need being an high performance collider, so you can put your foot down and race to the next bit. I think the club record when I was a member was 24,000 feet.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and I think at the when I was gliding, the height record was 56k in a grobber steer.
Holy crap. Obviously brought oxygen.
Oh yeah, you have to use oxygen above 10. But then there were them millionaires who were trying to make a super glider to get, and they were flying down in the Andes, and they were trying to get really super high. They had proper space suits on. But they had like a custom designed aircraft capable of going to extreme heights.
It's an area here south of here in Muscatine, Iowa. My in-laws used to live, my wife used to live down in the area there where there's a big bluff, and the prevailing wind hits that bluff and then creates an updraft that's there almost all the time. So you see all the raptors, all the vultures and all that stuff circling up there, following the thermals. So the other day, it's actually been a few weeks ago, I was driving down that way, and here's this whole flock of vultures circling up, and in the middle of them is a guy in a glider doing the same routine. He's just flying with them.
Yeah, well, there's a few clubs in the UK which are on hillsides, and that's how they do a lot of their flying. Is they get a winch off the end of the cliff, and then they fly backwards and forwards up and down the ridge. I've only done it once or twice, and it's very frightening because you're so close to other people, and then you have to turn out of the ridge, and then you hope there's nobody turning behind you. I wouldn't attempt that on my own. I was with an instructor. But the ridge sites are the most dangerous in gliding because they have a thing called the hand of God or the claw of death. If you get too far back on top of the ridge, you just get grabbed by whatever the turbulence is, and then it just drags you down into the hillside.
Oh, what a pleasant idea.
So when you're coming into land, you have to keep really close to the edge of the ridge, so you do minimum going downwind, because you end up flying into stone walls and stuff.
Where I trained gliding, I spent many hours at the ridge, at a very short ridge, about 2 or 3 kilometers, with 4 or 5 gliders.
Yeah, it's very frightening when you're not used to it.
Hey, this fix we're coming up on Echo Romeo Papa Oscar Lima. When we get there, we're going to turn left, and our final destination landing point is not far. We don't have much time, so we're going to be, when we hit that, as soon as we make that turn, we're going to start descending. We'll make a couple of jinks to the left to get us lined up with the runway, and we'll go straight in.
Yeah, if you look up on the internet, Ozzy, the hillside I'm talking about is called Sutton Bank in England. It's got a big white horse in the hillside. And that's the next club above us, and I've crowed up there in competitions.
Rotten Bank?
Sutton Bank.
Sutton Bank.
It's got one of these white horses picked out in white chalk on the hillside.
Like the Dale of White House in the south.
Yeah. But
Seen that.
it's a very old gliding club. Amy Johnson was a member back in the day in the 30s. And a lot of rich people fly from there.
Went out and cut the grass, mowed the yard before, about a couple hours before, about an hour and a half before we started the flight, and I've just been sitting here right now, realized I've got a big bloody elbow from where I poked myself on something, probably that grapevine that's sticking out of the fence. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, you should be taking it easy, not cutting the grass.
Ah, nah, nah, nah. You sound like my next door neighbor. Hey, are you supposed to be doing this? I said, I don't know, I didn't ask. She said she'd cut it for me. I go, you already cut it for me once, and I appreciate it, so I'll take care of it. Because I gotta keep moving. I can't. Probably pushed it a little hard, but what's the worst that could happen?
The grass wouldn't make much with the pancreas, would it?
Cutting the grass wouldn't what?
Wouldn't make much with the pancreas.
I wouldn't think so, but I'm pretty, I'm not dehydrated anymore because now I'm starting to see some vascularity stick up, so I'm happy about that. Actually, I'm feeling better, so let's hope this was just an episode.
We had some northern lights last night, and I missed it all. So hopefully it's meant to be some tonight if there's no clouds. So.
Yeah, they said the same thing here. It's like, I'm like, really? I've never seen the northern lights before, so I'll have to try to stay up enough to see it gets dark and go out there and check it out.
Yeah, well, this is the first time it's come this far south for a long time. They get it occasionally up in Scotland, in Stuart's neck of the wood and further north.
I wonder why it would be more prominent now.
It says it's a 22-year peak in the solar storms coming out of the sun.
We probably have to do it coincide with all the solar activity.
Sometimes there are phenomena that are not resulting from climate change.
Whatever. I don't. Climate's always been changing.
And solar storms.
Well, we've had about 2 months of rain, and now it's like summer at the moment. And tomorrow night's meant to be a lot of thunderstorms.
Ooh, so we must be tied together. That's the way it's supposed to be here. And then it's supposed to get colder than hell. For this time of year, I mean, relatively. About 90 seconds out of our turn here. And when we do that, we're going to begin a, how did I say, about 1,500, minus 1,500 foot per minute descent. The turn, kids. New GPS FMS is 1 degree. Well, actually, it's going to change because we're going through. Let's begin descending right now. Minus 1,500 feet per minute descend now. Okay, we're going to jink left here a little bit. Follow me if you can, because we want to line up with the 11 GPS FMS of 11 degrees, which is runway heading. Stand by. Use a heading bug of 0 for right now. That'll do. Turn right, GPS FMS 11 degrees. Do it now. Or just follow me. Continue descending at 1,500 feet per minute. Slow speed 180 knots, my mark. Stand by. Go to 180 knots, my mark. Mark, slowing to 180. Continuing to descend at 1,500 feet per minute. GPS FMS, well, it's called 15 now. So I wasn't paying attention. Blah, 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 blah. We're way high. Shit. Well, good luck.
That one down there.
That's the one, brother. Try to follow me if you can, otherwise just get on that airfield even if you got to go around. Sorry about that. Haven't had a chance to practice this and been kind of under the weather, so. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go over and around, come back in. Kids don't try this at home.
I am at home. Extreme side slip with all flaps and ear.
Mozzie can probably pull it off. I don't suppose anybody saw that. It's okay, I'll do it again. Still way too fast, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ah, pulled it off. Get down here to the ammo park out because we're going to go out the way we came in. So,
User disconnected from your channel.
whoa, we lost Ollie there. Nice landing.
User joined your channel.
User.
Yeah, I just rebooted my PC.
Oh, I see. I wonder what happened to you. I was scared. Ah, that was a little rough. Ozzy's got it.
Too fast.
Going around. You were right on the borderline there. I thought, could have got that rear wheel down and hit the skids. You probably could have stopped it. Oh God, stall.
Down and not safe.
Down and scraping the poo off the seat. Okay, take a short break and don't forget to refuel. We'll go out the way we came in. Get about 10 minutes or so and we'll be out of here.
All is safe eventually.
Astrali to greet us. Woohoo!
Yeah, I've rebooted and see if it's any more stable. Been playing silly buggers before.
Stable. Somehow Flight Gear United Kingdom and stable don't go together.
Yeah, well, it was just flicker and flashing every 30 seconds, and keyboard problems didn't help.
What a good looking bunch of birds.
And insects.
Cruise speed this time, or target speed, was going to be 275 knots. Again, we're going 14,500 feet at 1,000 feet per minute. Initial GPS FMS will be 269er. Ah, what a good looking bunch of birds.
They're all yours as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, well, yeah, why don't you pat yourself on the back there, Bri? Look, I didn't do any of these. I have nothing to do with the models. That's all and that's what 90% of what looks at. I just put it together like a package. Someday I would
Do you
love to learn to
do you have a check Corsair? What works? So I tried downloading the Flight Gear one and it doesn't take off.
Yeah, it just runs in circles. I put a post up on the forum about it. I found another model, but I don't know if they'll let us use it or not. I'll have to get permission, but first we have to see if it's worth fucking with.
It seems a shame because it would round off the World War II Warbirds collection.
I'll find a way, brother. I want one as bad as everybody else. Anybody not ready to rock? Watch me for the roll. GPS FMS 288 or 2. Damn it. I haven't got my glasses on. 268. Sorry. Climbing at 1,000 feet per minute to 14,005. Looking for 275 knots, folks. Crank her up, crank her up, crank her up. Target speed 275 knots. GPS FMS at present is 267. We're climbing at 1,000 feet per minute to 14,500 feet. We're about a long ways from our first turn point, so find me and catch up, boys.
Yeah, because on that list of the wish list, Stuart doesn't seem to like the Bell 47, does he, for some reason?
I pass. I don't know. Stuart's got his own agenda where helicopters and stuff go. He's like a man on fire, man.
Yeah, well, he's done hundreds of the damn things, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's probably. I mean, helicopters are his thing. It's obviously his passion, and they are fabulous.
I downloaded a couple from that French guy's flight gear website, and they're totally different when you try and fly them.
Yeah, the FDM is everything. Upside down. Yeah, I worry though that they're gonna pull the rug out from underneath him on this, on that the HDR thing.
Yeah, I don't really understand what it is yet.
Last week when I was flying, I think I was trying to scope this route out or whatever earlier before I went to the hospital. Somebody asked me about over MP about updating the daVinci aircraft for HDR, and I said, well, I'm not doing anything until it's finalized, and if it's too difficult, I'll just retire them. You guys can start all over again. And they went, no! I want to get Alex head wrapped around what's left of that Spit 16 and get her out there. It's 2 minutes from being ready to fly. Would have been fun to have tonight. In fact, I probably would have flown that.
I noticed on them, I don't know, it begins with H, doesn't it, that French guy's website?
Elijah's hangar.
Yeah. Gary did a lot of the liveries on these aircraft as well.
Yeah, Gary's worked a lot with Elijah.
Yeah, well, I haven't done anything on that one. I was playing with the air ambulance one for a week. I did contact them to try and get some pictures off them, but they haven't replied.
You have a problem getting responses from people, and you get people, don't use my stuff for this or that, and copyrights without permission. Right, then you try to get permission and they never respond.
Well, all I asked them was, could I have a list of the sponsors? Because I've got hundreds of pictures now, but they're all different. They're on like the 10th aircraft, so some of them look the same. They're H145s, but the previous models are sold and they had different sponsorship. So I just wanted to get the up-to-date list, because a lot of the logos you can find on the company's websites and then convert them and scale them and stuff. We're trying to make it as accurate and up-to-date as possible.
Shoot, from Eagle's perspective, nice flying, dude.
Is Eagle doing the Vulcan?
Yes.
That looks a piece of work, that.
Oh my God. If I had his talent, I'd never get out of the house. Oh, he's here. That'll make his head swell. Now.
Yeah, because on that other website where they use a program called Inkscape, and I think it's a vector drawing program. So like rivets and details, you sort of draw them out, and then somehow you convert them to bitmaps to go into the photos. So mustn't draw them individually with an airbrush. This must do them at regular intervals and then do them in mass. Just a continuous battle learning programs, isn't it?
Oh my God. And the thing is that once you learn how to 3D model like in AC3D, I've built some stuff in AC3D, but I can't transfer the skills to Blender. It just, Blender hates me. It won't do anything for me.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Many moons ago, when it was Flight Sim 98, I used to do panels for stuff like when things used to visit the airfield at the gliding club, I used to take pictures with wide angle lens, and I used to do the panels for stuff and gliders.
Cool.
But in them days, you had to program the gauges in C++.
Yeah, I'm out.
This was before HTML came in.
Oh, HTML?
Yeah, and there was a guy who was a milkman in Holland who was really good. He used to make these like flight computers work with every option in the menus.
Jeez.
So yeah, I did gain some skills in C++, but that was 20 odd years ago. No, this helicopter I'm doing delivery for, I'm really struggling because it's the H145 and at the rear it's got two clam doors what open, but they're really curved and they're full of logos. But the problem is the one I'm trying to model, one of the doors, they filled one of the windows in and they have all logos across the actual window in our model.
So it's not mapped correctly.
No, but the problem is I've got pictures, but they're from funny angles, so I can't. It's all distorted, so you can't just do a simple lift off the photo and paste it in. You've got to square it all off and put it in the right place and mess around.
Yeah, that F4U, the Corsair and the Git repository is from Detlef Faber and stuff, and he like abandoned it or gave up in a point where if I modified the FDM and made it fly really well the other night, but the problem is he's got so much. Okay, I'm leveling at 14,005, guys. He's got so much. He was trying to make it so realistic that it got stupid. Otherwise, you tear the wings off by doing things. I used to work with him back in the same guy back in the day. With test fly stuff and get back to him, and he and I would always disagree, or not. I wouldn't say argue, but disagree, because he would say, the roll rate on this P51 is, or BF109 is exactly correct. I said, bullshit. I've been at air shows and seen the things do a 360 in less than that. You can't tell me that the roll rate on a BF109 at combat speed is like 10 seconds. Not gonna happen. They'd be dead. Come on, Dad. I'm just doing it by the specs, and that's what the specs are. No, it's wrong. You have to fudge the specs then. I don't care. I've watched BF109s at air shows do rolls way faster than what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think his website's disappeared.
Oh, I think he's retired quite well. Used to enjoy flying with him.
Because some people have done an awful lot of work, haven't they?
Oh my God.
There's a German guy who's done millions of ship models. The fantastic detail.
Easy to become obsessed.
Quite impressed with the radio control planes now, the size of them and what they do with them. There was a guy and he had a 35% scale edge, and it had a 129cc engine in it.
Oh, man.
And the way they take off, they're in the air in about 10 foot, which is a bit unrealistic. But I used to do radio control planes when I was about 16, and a big engine in them days were 10cc.
Now they've got actual jet engines and stuff.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They actually sound realistic. But these videos what come up on Facebook, I don't know if they're in the UK or abroad, but there's some nearly, you could actually fly in them if you were brave enough. They're that large.
Can do much damage.
Well, that's why I don't think they're probably in the UK, because I think they'd be illegal, because they're lethal weapons if they went wrong.
Now, don't you guys in the UK need all kinds of licenses and stuff to fly that stuff?
When I used to do it, but there were smaller models, you only had to have a radio license for your transmitter. But you were flying on the more top, they didn't go right far, to do a lot of damage. Where someone was got 100cc engine in it, it could fly miles, couldn't it?
I think so.
I think Stuart's saying they have to have like stabilizers, so if it loses radio signal, it flies in a straight line until it runs out of juice.
You guys checking out this scenery? This is some pretty cool looking stuff, man.
Yeah, it looks very good, doesn't it?
I'm surprised. Well, initially when I flew this, I was like looking at really rat-ass scenery, and I'm looking at the maps, looking at Google and going, this should look way better than this. So I'm going to go ahead and plan the flight and hope for the best in the scenery. I was glad I did, because this is worth flying.
Yeah, the OS map, it's a bit sparse in information as well. Got a lot of white on it. Must be a big country on the quiet.
Yeah, Flash says it's very nice, and I don't have photo scenery. Yeah, you should see it with the photo scenery, man. Wow. I always kind of sweat when I plan something that's in a weird place, because, I mean, we've been everywhere in the last years that we've been flying flight nights and MP flying and stuff like that, so I try to keep it fresh, just try to find new places we haven't been, but we're running out of new stuff.
Oh yeah, you come up with some good places to go to. Might be time to revisit some of the previous flights and see what they look like with.
Oh yeah.
I still have that thing I was working on a couple of years ago, the Falkland Islands, but only problem is that Falklands are very flat and boring land-wise.
Yeah, Argentina is the opposite. Wow.
Yeah, well, but I put loads of ships and stuff in, so the idea was trying to make like a realistic history-wise, what happened in the Falklands. But it'd be good for like helicopters landing on ships and flying around a bit. And I was just a bit disappointed that the mesh for the island wasn't correct, so the photo scenery didn't match up properly. Like there was a lighthouse which is on the land at Port Stanley, but in flight gear it's actually out in the middle of the sea.
Oh.
But now Stuart's done all the Royal Navy helicopters, we could have probably a good one. I don't think I'm capable of leading it. I'm just thinking somebody like Alex could do it maybe, if he wanted to take it over and plan something.
That Wessex, what is it, the Mark V or whatever? The one that Gary just did the additional liveries for? Oh my God, I love that thing.
Yeah, well,
Don't
in
look
the
behind you.
Falklands.
Don't look behind you, Ali. You got an FW upside down.
Yeah, he'll be losing his loose change and he's out of his pockets.
I think that's Eagle. I don't think he's got anything like... He's got a couple of screws loose, but I don't think there's any loose change.
Why underneath will catch the cache?
Yeah, well, a lot of these Warbirds, if they lost anything, they never could get it until they were on the ground, because it was all open and drop down into the bottom somewhere. Could do some jamming controls if they were unlucky.
Interesting formations looking port side there.
So is Gary actually doing some livery work on new
Oh yeah,
stuff?
he did a bunch of them. That they just put them up on that Wessex Mark V. Just outstanding shit. Good to see Gary back rocking again.
Yeah, well, I put up them FG R2 liveries but there's a stack of other ones which are really detailed, but they're totally different UV maps. So, yeah, I left them as they were. That's the problem. You don't have the on some of the other flight sims they call them paint kits. So it's just really the basic outlines of the components. So you can copy and
Yeah, paint
use
kits
as a
are
mask.
about- Paint kits are highly appreciated.
But watching them videos for Microsoft Flight Sim, they seem to make it really easy to do.
Yeah, right.
Because they import into Blender, your favourite program, and they could select like the full fuselage and just ignore the wings and the tailplane, and then start painting it, and it would wrap around really easy. So instead of having thousands of components, it was just like one big one.
Good looking stuff to starboard too now. Wow, 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 wow. Score. That does not look good.
Yeah, I don't think this would fly upside down very well.
I don't know. That was pretty scary watching you try.
I didn't try any opposite road elevator.
Oh, great looking stuff. We're flying over some really good ground stuff. I'm doing like a 3/4 shot on the flashes. Mosquito. Wow. Nice selection of warbird critters tonight, guys. Comes the turn. Boom. Turn to right. New heading, GPS FMS 303 for Foxtrot Alpha Lima Whiskey, which is our originating point. We'll be at about 13 minutes or something like that. Wow, we're right back on time. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! The other thing I like about flying Warbirds is you have a huge envelope of which to make the timing and stuff on this stuff come out. You don't rope yourself into, oh, it's going to be a late flight tonight. Because you just never know what's going to happen at 8 p.m. UK time.
Well, it's the Eurovision Song Contest tonight on the TV, so this is quite a good alternative. I think that's why Alec will be, isn't it? Because these.
Yeah, Stuart was disgusted, but it's Stuart, so I don't even know what it is. So I say, if you're into it, get it out. Let's get it out. Yeah, I'm into airplanes and multiplayer flight and flight gear. That's what I'm into. We've been getting it out. Total withdrawal last week. God, I wanted to fly.
The bit of the Eurovision Song Contest I saw, there was this female singer and she had two male backing dancers. They're both dressed up in thigh-high boots, fishnet tights, and corsets, and beards.
The guys?
Yeah, two guys dancing behind them.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I'm old, so.
Have they been taking piss out of your former president this week with his court case?
Oh my God, what a nightmare. It's like everybody says, hey, you better shut his mouth or he'll end up in contempt of court. If he hasn't ended up in contempt of court yet, it ain't gonna happen.
Anybody else would have been sent down, wouldn't they, by now?
Yeah, exactly, that's my whole point, is it's a joke. This whole thing is a joke. Wouldn't be surprised if it was all scripted and done just to make a point. It's like watching a carnival, man. Not my monkeys, not my show. GPS FMS 303 will maintain 14,500 feet, until which time we shall spy our final destination airport, which is exactly where we started from, by the way. We'll come in askant. We'll come in sideways to the airport, and the runway we're looking for will be the one closest to us now. It's on the outside. I think it basically runs north and south. But your job is to get yourself down there, land, and get a trick. Do a trick before you land, and do a trick. It can be a simple loop, it can be a simple aileron roll. Don't matter. Just do something for the folks back home. High performance 30s and 40s style aircraft. That hurricane forgot to take his Ritalin.
folklore. Past has ever been real. Everything's blurry inside my head. All this time to despair. I'm not the only one who's sad. Somewhere deep inside my head, I see your lips and cherry red. Standing in the crowd. A melody makes feel last one. Bathing in that spotlight sun. Cheering it out loud. Walking through the city tonight. What's everywhere there's still waiting to find swing by the side. You're standing in the gloomy neon light with a smile which is so bright. I guess you're fucking right. And as if every tone's supposed to creep and crawl inside my soul, reasons undisclosed. And now when my room feels so square, those resorts will serve as air. I've been feeling proud.
Yeah, that air show I went to last year, they're not running it this year. You know, it's very close to where I live. It's back down south. The Flying Legends one.
Ah,
It's at a different area. Instead of being Duxford, it's at Sizewell, which is down south somewhere. But
so are they not having the Duxford show then?
well, they have it, but they have it's got a different name. But the Flying Legend ones is mainly fighters with a few twins.
I've wanted to go see that since I was a baby.
Where is it?
Usually,
Well,
it's been at Duxford forever.
Yeah, well, this time it's at Sizewell, which is Northamptonshire. Because one of the main Spitfire Hurricane Mustang restorers, that's where they're based. Bit all politics, you know, somebody be pushing the price up, and then they say, oh, sod you, we'll go somewhere else. It's a shame, really, because it was really good apart from the weather.
Well, the nice thing about Duxford too was that the museum's there, so always wanted to go and check out the museum. And what's this air show usually runs a couple of days. All these to run it. One at Farnsborough still running.
They have the International Tattoo, which is a big sales pitch. Yeah, that still runs every year. But back in the day, there used to be every RAF base used to have a display, and they're all gone now.
Yeah, Biggin Hill was another one I always wanted to go watch. They have a display there. And
Yeah, Biggin Hill's one of these centres where they do rebuilding Spitfires.
I know.
It's big business now in the UK. There's a lot of different organisations got two-seaters, and I'm very tempted because sometimes they actually come north and do a day flying from one particular airfield. I might investigate and see if they actually are coming closer, and I might be very tempted to have a go.
Okay, I'm going to start at
I
1,500.
understand.
Starting to descend at 1,500 feet per minute. Minus 1,500 feet per minute. My mark. Stand by. Mark descending at 1,500 feet per minute. Spot our airport here pretty quick. And for runway 20 left, you should see the airport right now. It'll be the one closest to us. Runs 180, 360. We'll come into the airport down here. Do a little trick. Run out to the north, come back, land into the south on the outside runway. Wabba, wabba, wabba. Fun, fun, fun. Anybody not see the airport? See on the ground, chickens. Holy shit, is that fast? Park up on the right over here.
Which runway we're landing on?
The one on the outside runs, I believe it's, they call it 20 left or whatever, I think, but it's the outside runway as you're heading south.
Even when I'm down and think I'm gonna lose control, music's on, it shows that nothing is impossible. It fills your soul and my mind with harmony. Ooh. Listen to the melody. Listen to the song I sing. Find a world you've never been. To inspire you, let your dreams come true. Oh, ooh.
That's some good driving right there. Good stuff, man. Comes Oswald. Got it this time, Oz. Thanks for coming, Flash. Have a great week this week, okay? I intend to.
User disconnected from your channel.
We're over here to the west. Not sure how you're doing that. How'd you turn the lights off, Oswald?
Turn the lights out, off.
Yeah, you turned the... That was weird.
Close the magnetos.
The landing lights.
Are they on? Are they?
They're off. They were on when you pulled up, and then you kind of like turned them off somehow.
In my view, they are on.
That's funny. Ollie's just went out too, so something's weird. Yippee!
Here we are.
Woohoo! Well done, gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to terminate the movie here. It's time to say goodnight. Good night, y'all.